What's up, y'all? It's Daniel Munozz, and you are now watching On the Come Up Podcast.
Greetings, my people. Welcome to another episode of On the Come Up Podcast with your host, DJ Ace, and I'm back here. Happy New Year's 2023. It's lit. It's up. Thank you all for subscribing, watching the podcast, being in tune with us, supporting us from the very first episode to the episode that we're doing today. And I just want to say, from all of us that's doing this, grinding, working hard to give you guys the content that we're supposed to give y'all, we appreciate it. We appreciate the support. Thank you. And we just gonna keep coming with more content, more exclusive, more joints, different stuff we got to do this year. So with that being said, I got a special guest with me.
Yes, sir.
Somebody that I know.
Couple years.
It's a good friend, a very good friend.
Yeah.
Daniel Munozz. How you doing, my brother?
Good. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How you feeling? You all right?
I feel good. I can't complain. Happy to be here. Ready to start the year. Get it started.
Yeah. For those who don't know who Daniel is, give him a little backstory. Tell him who you are, where you from.
So I go by the name of Daniel Munozz. As Joe said, we grew up together. So I'm from Bayonne.
Yeah.
I'm Dominican, Colombian. I'm a Libra.
Right.
I don't know if that matters, but I'm gonna just throw it out there. And I'm from Jersey.
Dope. So what are you into? What style of music you in? Because a lot of people don't know, like, what do you do? Some people think you're like a fashion icon. Some people think you're like a, model icon. So give them a little backstory. What you do? How you get your start, man? Talk to 'em.
Music.
Yeah.
So music has always been in the forefront.
Yeah.
I like clothing and stuff. But
Yeah.
It's always been music, R&B, the heartbreak type of vibe. That's what really got me my jump start.
Okay.
Especially like in the early beginning stages.
Right.
I really started to pick up with the emotional R&B type of vibe. So that's where I started.
Yeah.
And then I just been growing ever since.
Okay. So when did you officially start making music? What year? Well, how old were you?
I was like 15.
15.
My first song.
Yeah.
That was my first song though.
So when you was in high school, when you started freshman year?
Yeah, maybe like freshman or sophomore year. I remember going into my orientation. I think you was there too. We went through that. And I don't know if you remember, but one kid got on stage and he started singing.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that, and I seen like the reaction, and I was like, okay, I really like that. So once that started happening, that's when I kind of started picking
it up.
Yeah, okay, I was writing a little bit. I knew people who had a studio, so I was like, yo, I really want to record my first song. So my first song recorded was when I was 15. I'll say when I really got into it, maybe like 7.
You remember the first song?
Yeah, it was a Wicked Games remix by The Weeknd. It was trash.
Trash?
Super trash.
Jeez.
It was
Were
terrible.
people gassing you like, yeah, this shit hard.
Yeah,
it was dope.
surprisingly. But
Fuck all y'all. Y'all was lying.
That's the crazy thing though, because I look back at it and I hear a lot of my beginning stuff and I hear the growth, and I also could look back at it and say like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, this is trash.
Yeah.
But
at least you're honest with yourself.
Nah, for real.
You know?
And but the crazy thing is though, when I was doing that, like I was still getting love.
Yeah.
At least enough to where it pushed me to keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And doing more. That's fire. So coming up in school, what kind of person you was in class? You were a class clown? You was, Mr. Popular?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
I was.
Yeah, I know. This guy was. Yeah.
I was
Mr.
one of
Popular.
those. Yeah. So coming up, I was definitely the class clown. Got along with everybody. Everybody knew what I was. But coming from Bayonne, like Bayonne's only 3 miles long, so everybody knows everybody. Now,
literally. Yeah.
Now there are the select few that stick out where like everybody knows them, and then there's like people that you see like, oh, I've seen you before.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I feel like I was, humbly speaking, I was one of them ones that was like, everybody knows.
Where?
Knew who I was.
Shout out to BHS, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Those who know, and if you don't know, you don't know. Respectfully. Other than music, what was you into though? You play sports?
Yeah, a bunch of sports.
Yeah.
So before music, I kind of dibbled and dabbled in a bunch of stuff.
Like what?
I did baseball, I did basketball, I did hockey, I did boxing, I did a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I last left off on boxing. Like that was the one thing that I was trying to take serious.
Yeah. You still spar?
Nah, not no more.
Why?
Nah. I want to get back into it, but honestly, I feel like I want to do that later on. Like I'm really just trying to
hone in on the music.
Yeah,
right?
get to what I need to get to. But I definitely miss that, and I think about how good I could have been if I would have stayed in it.
On some Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
no lie, I was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You'll bust his ass, Ryan Garcia?
Nah, nah, he got that. He gonna have to take care of Tank.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We gonna see. We gonna see.
Yeah, but yeah, so I dabbled and dabbled in a lot of things, and like even like my mom, like I would make her put me in so many different things to the point where when I got to music, she didn't believe me.
Why?
At all. Because I made her do so much. Like I was in baseball, I was in basketball. I remember one time I woke up one morning and I'm like, yo, Ma, I want to be on Disney. And I went on Google, I started finding a bunch of stuff, and they had sent us to go do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ma, you got to put me in, you got to put me in it. So she takes me, I think she blew like $2,000 on one photo shoot, and I never went back.
Oh my God.
After that, I went to boxing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I want to do boxing. I want to do boxing. And I gave up with that. But then music came, and it was kind of one of those like, okay, yeah, you know, whatever. But then I did my first show in Bayonne, and she came and she saw like the turnout.
Right.
And she was like, okay,
this could be something.
Yeah. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you got going on. So after that, I've been music ever since.
So why did music stick out with you other than the sports, the football, the boxing? What makes music so potent to you in your heart?
I think as I grew in it, it was just like the connection of how I could take what I was going through and put it directly in the music.
Put it on
like,
wax, right?
Yeah, in like a very detailistic way. Like I really enjoyed that. But also, I just got tired of getting punched in my face. So, so I gave that up. But yeah, I think it was that. It was the attention, because of course, like the reason I even really started music in the beginning was because I saw the attention I could get from girls.
Right.
So that's really what it was. But then the connection with the feelings and everything, it started to be more personal. And
so is it still, I would ask, is it still attention, or is it more so now more personal than attention?
I think it's more personal, because even with the attention stuff, like it's cool, but I feel like I've gotten to the point where sometimes I might, what's the word I'm looking for? I might downplay myself. Cause like I'll step into some spots and I'll see some people and they'll show me mad love. And to me, I'm just like,
That's
just
cool.
me, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like I walk into a spot like, oh my God, like no bullshit. Like they be like, oh my God, what you doing here? And I'm just like, bro, I'm
chilling.
I'm just me, bro. So I think at this point, it's really just personal. I enjoy the attention. I know like the goals that I want to reach, but I think the personal side of it is what I enjoy the most.
Word. 100. So, being that you was on a come up, literally, in high school, just blowing up and stuff like that. So, what was that one song that made you really just stick out?
10 Toes.
10 Toes.
That was the one.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
Speak about that.
So it was like 2016, end of 2016. I'm doing my thing, but I'm not, you know, like really there.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends from high school, she has sent me the challenge. And I remember I was in the car, I was on my way home, and she's like, oh, you should do this.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times I'd be like, all right, whatever. I hear you, but I don't do it.
Yeah.
But with this, I went to the crib and I just like listened to it, and I was like, okay, I like this. And I wrote the freestyle, and I remember recording it, doing a couple of takes and sending it to my friend. And I'm like, yo, what you think? They like, oh, I think you need to put more emotion into it. So I did a couple of takes and I posted it, not really thinking nothing of it. And then when I woke up, it had like 100,000 views. And it just kept going and going and going.
Viral.
And then on Facebook, I think it did like 5 million. So that was the song that really made me say, all right, now I gotta really tap in. Because before it was just like, yeah, I do music, you know, I do it here and there. But once that took off and I started to gain an audience and I seen like all the girls that was like really gravitating towards me, I was like, all right, I gotta really like take this serious. So that song is what really catapulted me to where I am, you know.
Yeah. So what was the defining, like, what did you learn from that experience? Being from literally just recording and thinking nothing of it to waking up and just seeing your whole Instagram, Facebook just blowing.
I think I learned that it's possible.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, I think, even coming from such a small city, you don't know how you're going to do it, where, what moment it's going to be, how it's going to happen. And like a lot of times when you're doing music, like you feel like you're in a room with a pitch black room and you're trying to find the door. So when that happened, like I felt like the door cracked a little bit. So it just gave me hope, and it like showed me that it was possible.
Right.
And ever since then, I was just keeping it going, and it was working.
Yeah.
It was really working. It's crazy.
100. So I would say 2016. Let's put you back in time. Let's go back in time, right? 2016. You dropped that. It go viral. What's the climate? What are you thinking? What is how are you receiving people in the fake love, the fake, energy that people are giving to you? There's a lot of naysayers that was telling you it wasn't it. You dropped this and then you go viral. Now people is like, oh yeah, you the guy. So how were you feeling? What was the energy?
I think at first it was still like that. Okay, like I'm me.
Yeah.
But I also knew when I would walk into school, I would walk with my chest out a little bit.
You that guy.
I would walk with my chest out a little bit, but it was just like one day, everybody knows me. Yeah, he does music or whatever, and then the next day, everybody's like, "Yo, you're famous," and like everybody in the school used to play around me, and it was like just funny because they're like, "Oh, can I get your autograph?" And it sounds kind of cheesy and funny, but like they really used to do that. And it was my friends, so it was love regardless. So I think it was really that. Because I don't think anybody in the school really like looked at me like, oh my goodness.
Any different?
I think it was just, wow, he's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Like me and my brother, we talk about this all the time. Like I feel like when I first started music, I felt like I was kind of like that poster boy. Like if you had a negative opinion about me, I didn't care. If you did like me, I didn't care. Because regardless, I was going to keep going. So when I just kept going and going and going, and then people started to see like, yo, he's actually doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of gave people like, okay, cool. Like he's from the same city as me. If he can do it, why can't I? Yeah. So I feel like I was kind of like that poster boy. So I feel like when that really took off for me, it was just love from everybody. Like everybody just supported. I don't think anybody really looked at me higher than what I was, but I think everybody respected what I was doing.
So let's stick to 2016. You dropped that.
Yeah.
What was next for you?
After 10 Toes, the video was going, it was going. Then I got in the studio and I was with Clutch and T-Mark.
Shout out T.
Yeah. And I'm like, yo, Clutch, I gotta record this. Like, we gotta put this out. We can't miss this moment. And I remember it was like 20 people in the studio. Like, I'm talking about a room like this.
Yeah.
And I'm in the booth trying to get a song done. Everybody, I think there's one dude shooting a video in the room. It was a lot of things going on. But at that moment, I'm like, I need to release this. So I got the song done. I recorded it, and then I put it out, and it did amazing. So after that, it was kind of just like, what's the next move? Because I knew that I needed to keep the gas on the pedal. So after that, it was like, all right, cool. What's the next single? I recorded Wait. And I put that one out, and that one did really good. And I remember all my homies, like him, at this point, I was like 17, and I'm like, yo, we got to figure out how we gonna get a video done for Wait. And I remember he used to give me like $20 every week, and we saved up.
Showing love,
So that was really the next move. It was just really trying to figure out what was gonna come next, and Wait came next.
So when you drop Wait, were people anticipating something next from you, or it was just like, all right, you dropped one and then that was it? Like, what was the climate?
Nah, people were anticipating.
They wanted to know more.
Yeah. Because at this point, people were engaged with the music, but I also, like, I knew how to. I was just like a funny, like goofy, just very charismatic person on the internet, so people just gravitated towards me. In a wholesome way. So like, it wasn't just music. It was like, okay, we like the personality, we like how wholesome he is, smile, whatever it was. So people were really engaged. So it wasn't really like one and done. It was like, okay, well, like, what are you doing next? Like, we love your voice, so like, what you got going on? And then, I would preview music, and then be like, yo, drop it. So it just kept going,
kept going. Right.
Really just kept going.
So when you drop Wait, and then you just saw the success of it. Was it good? Did you like what you heard? Or you like what you seen in terms of reception?
It was, I don't remember how it climbed, like streaming wise or whatever, but I know that the engagement and the reaction from the people was great. Like, I would get videos. I remember with that song, like the rollout of that song was mad funny because we was making the cover art, and I don't know why they put a teddy bear in the cover art, but there's a teddy bear in the cover art, and we was like, yo, let's buy a teddy bear costume, and we put my brother in it, and we like, yo, let's just make funny videos. So we would put him in a teddy bear costume and
just run around.
Yeah, we went to 7-Eleven. He would jump on the counter and dance. We went to a gas station. That was kind of how we was promoting it.
Yeah, just pushing it. Content.
Yeah, exactly. So the reaction was good. People really loved it, and then it slowly was building up. Good. And then the music video came. That was a good moment.
Dope. So speaking into that, so that was 17?
This was my senior year.
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
2017. And then, boom, you get picked up. You get a situation.
Yeah, so that happened 2018.
Oh, yeah?
So I went the whole 2017.
Just pushing out the one record.
Independent.
Okay.
Nah, not the one record. So Wait came out beginning 2017. I put the video out, and then end of 2017 I dropped the EP.
Okay.
And that did incredible. Like I was shocked at how good that did.
The cover art when you was outside with your hair?
Yeah.
Funny guy.
Yeah. Yo, that project.
It's fire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one of probably my biggest one, because Love Me on YouTube, it did incredible. Like that's my biggest video ever.
Bigger than 10 Toes?
Not streaming wise, but video wise.
Video wise? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The numbers.
Yeah. The video I think is about to hit like 8 million.
Dope.
10 Toes did like 13 million
Word.
streaming. But yeah, so I released the EP ending of 2017. That did amazing. I had gotten reached out to by Billboard. Like I had almost cracked Billboard. That was insane to me.
It's fire. Coming from a small city. It's crazy.
Yeah. That was, I couldn't even believe that. I charted on iTunes. Yeah. I couldn't believe that. That was crazy, seeing my name next to Breezy. Shout out to Breezy.
Fire.
But so yeah, I had dropped that. Then beginning of 2018 started, and then I got signed maybe like 4 months in.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Who you got signed to?
So I got signed to Epic Records, Sony. Shout out to them.
Who actually signed you though? Or you don't even wanna?
Nah.
Right.
The chairman signed me.
Yeah?
The woman that runs the company.
How'd she get in contact?
So funny story, when all this was going on, I remember one day my mom, she was like, go to Walmart, I need you to get something for me. And I didn't want to, but whatever, I ended up going, and when I get to Walmart, I end up meeting the guy who walked me through the building.
Right.
So he's initially how I got signed. He had a relationship with people. He walked me through the building.
I be feeling like that's divine intervention, man. You never know.
Yeah.
And
literally.
Mom's intuition too.
Yeah.
Like, you never know.
I'm literally walking through Walmart. I look up an aisle, and I was a fan of Dave East at that time.
So you recognize the face?
Yeah. I knew who was managing him. So when I walked past the aisle, I'm like, hold on, I know that face. And I was with my cousin and my brother, and I'm like, yo, should I say something? Like, should I say something?
Yeah.
I don't like being annoying. I don't like asking nobody for nothing. Like, that's one thing about me. So they like, go ahead. So I walk up to him. I'm like, oh, can I send you some music? Like, what you think? He's like, yeah, sure. Yeah. You came up to me politely or whatever. He gave me his email. I sent him some music. He followed me, but I never heard back for like a year. Now, mind you, I met him before 2017 started. That's the crazy part.
Where? How?
In Walmart. So this was happening before I got a released weight and all that. Like I met him initially. We didn't start working until like a year later.
Okay.
Yeah. So whatever, he gave me his stuff. He followed me, but he never followed. He never hit me back. Yeah. So I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing.
You thought it was dubs.
Yeah. So in the midst of that, I'm doing the weight video. I'm doing the Until Next Time project. And then he hit me. He's like, yo, I really like what you got going on. If you need some help, let me know. And I think instantly I was like, yeah, like I need help right now.
Yeah.
So what we doing? And then we took a couple meetings with a couple labels, and then we walked through Epic, and I sang to Sylvia, and on the spot, she liked me. She flew me to LA, put me in front of a couple other executives. I sang to them, did whatever, and they signed me that same day.
So how'd you feel about that moment?
I was the most happiest kid alive. Yeah, that was one of the most exciting moments, I think, of my life. And I remember before, because I had gotten denied before that. You know, I had other label meetings and it was cool. You know, they liked what they heard, but they didn't want to sign me over some other things, but it was cool.
Yeah.
So when I had got that situation, I remember I was telling myself, I was like, yo, I'm not leaving without this deal. Like, you know, I'm going to do what I got to do. So I went in there, I sang, I did what I had to do, and they signed me. And that was like that was a great moment, you know.
How'd it make your family feel?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know I'm getting out of high school. My mom wants me to do something. You know, parents, they don't really understand how some of this type of stuff goes. Like, it's a slow grind.
Yeah.
So they really feel like, like, you're not really doing something. So, like, my mom made me sign up for college and everything. I had a schedule. I had everything. I was supposed to go to NJCU.
Yeah.
And I remember getting my schedule and all that. And I'm like, yo, Ma, please just give me a couple more months.
Right.
And she was like, all right, whatever. And I think, like, a couple months later, I got signed, and she's like, all right, you could do what you want. So at that point, it was like, okay, cool.
Whatever goes, goes.
Yeah, because I was fine. Like, that's a big step, you know, like getting signed to a major, like it's a big thing. So to her, it was like, all right, cool, you know, you're actually doing something, so you could do what you want.
And what was the reception from your friends, colleagues?
Incredible. Everybody was very happy. Everybody on the outside looking in was very happy. My close friends, they came to my release party. That was crazy. Sprayed champagne all over the ceiling. Like, that was a moment. I still got them videos.
Yeah.
But everybody else that was like kind of acquaintances, like we was friends, but like they not my close friends. Everybody was happy. Like, I think the whole city was like, damn, you know, he got signed.
He got it.
Yeah, he got signed.
So you believe at that time you was the face?
Definitely. Definitely. And I don't really like get too caught up in that type of stuff, but I think at that point, you know, like that was a pretty major thing going on. And so it was good stuff.
So it happened. You got signed. You got flued out.
Yeah.
You started pushing records. You started doing the industry antics and all that. What went wrong? In your perspective, because everybody got their opinions, but in terms of you, what went wrong?
I think there's a couple different ways you can look at it. From me growing how I have grown now and learning what I know now, I could look at it like, okay, cool, maybe the music should have been this, maybe it should have been that. But I also know the pandemic ruined a lot of things for a lot of people. Not just me, a lot of people. A lot of people lost because of the pandemic. So I think the pandemic played a huge role in it. But also just me getting to a point where I felt like, you know, I kind of want to do something, a certain type of thing, certain type of vibe. So I think a couple things played a part into it, but in totality, I think it was just a lot of things happening and not going how they supposed to.
Yeah, 100%. So what were the upsides of it?
A lot.
You feel like it built your fan base to where it is now? Or you feel like you did it on your own, respectfully?
I think when I came into the building, I had good motion. I had a really good motion. I had built up a good audience. I think with them, it was kind of like, okay, cool. They just elevated what I was doing, you know, from a sound, everything. When you sign to a major, it's kind of like things run a certain different kind of way. So I think at that point, it was just like elevation. And I remember thinking to myself as I grew, like that elevation might have been too quick. Because people, they're growing, my fault. People are growing with me. They're growing with me every single step.
Right.
One thing that, I keep burping this thing.
No, you go.
One thing that people love.
We've been drinking a little bit. You go.
I think one people that, like, people in, like, your audience or whatever, like, they enjoy is really growing with you. So, like, I think they were growing with me. And then out of nowhere, I went from here and I'm all the way up here.
Skyrocketing. Pop.
Not even pop.
Yeah.
It's a look thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's just, okay, cool. He was here. Now he's here. So, you know, maybe some people kind of felt like, oh, all right, you know, he's cool. Like, I feel like people, they enjoy when you're the underdog because they feel like they're a piece of you. So when you, like, go from such a quick jump, it's like, oh, okay, you know, he's cool.
Yeah.
You know, but
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell an upcoming artist that's about to get signed tomorrow. You never know. Everything with TikTok is going crazy right now. You never know what's going to be the next trend. What can you tell a person that would be in your shoes back in 2018, 2019? What can you say to them that they can learn from?
I would say really understand what you're getting into from a totality. Look at whatever label you're looking at. Like, what do they have going on? Who do they have on the roster? A lot of times, if they have a bunch of superstars, you're not going to want to be a part of that because you're going to be...
How can I grow?
You're going to be on the bench. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get no playing time. So I would say that. Understand business and what comes with when you sign. Because, you know, it's the glitz and the glamours. It looks good. It sounds good. You get a little money. Like, it's cool. But 9 times out of 10, people don't be knowing what they getting into. And just because you sign a deal don't mean that you're
it.
Exactly. Yeah. There's still a lot of work that got to get done.
Yeah.
That you yourself have to do.
Right.
And that was kind of one of the things that I learned because I had my foot on the gas when I was by myself a lot. And then when I signed, it kind of felt like, okay, cool, you know, like they got it now.
Yeah.
So I would say that. Know what you're getting into. Understand business. Have a good lawyer. And have some leverage.
Have some leverage.
If you ain't got no leverage.
What's leverage to you, though?
I think leverage to me is when you've built something that... Leverage to me is when you've already built something that's in motion and it's moving. You have good traction. You have engagement. You have an audience. Maybe a couple records moving, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you are productive on your own on a very high level or a good level, I would say that's good leverage to have because at that point you don't need the label. They could wave a check around and do all that type of stuff, but you don't need them.
Yeah.
So that's what I really think.
When you was doing the SOBs, you was doing that before pre-sign or after?
Yeah, pre-sign. I did SOBs like 2 months before I got signed.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's
so
hard.
That's one of my favorite shows. So yeah, that, and then now I have no desire in signing a deal. So I think I want to continue to do what I got to do. I haven't released in 3 years.
Yeah.
So I need to get back into doing what I was doing, releasing consistency, and building that leverage.
Right, fire. So a lot of people would say that the people that you came up with in the times that you got signed, you kind of left them behind.
Yeah.
You know, I told you I was gonna get to it. I told you I wasn't lying. I was gonna get to it. So how do you feel about the people who been talking and saying, "Oh, on the come up, you was fucking with me," and then when you got on, you wasn't fucking with me, you was acting a certain way. So what is the misconceptions from Daniel Munozz on his perspective that people don't really get to analyze?
That's a great question. I think it depends because we can get into like full detail, but we could do that on off air. Yeah. Because it's like it depends who you're talking about.
Right.
I don't know who you're
in
talking
about. In general,
I think who was my people's was my people's. Like they was always around. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like people have a certain misconception that like, okay, cool, you supposed to have them right here all day. Like that's not how it works. Especially when situations like that happen, you know.
But I would say, let me interject. I would say you catch one, you go up, we work together. I would think from a loyalty or not even a loyalty, from a working transaction aspect that we still gonna lock in. The way you started, let's keep building because I know I for the most part know your sound to date.
Okay.
Right? I know your sound to date, but then we can also work to make your sound even more than what it is. So I would feel like certain people feel that you just forgot about niggas because, but you forgot about niggas when you was up, but then when you was working on your sound, like, you know, you was working with people, but then when you got to a different plateau and started working with other people, it was just like, fuck them guys. So how do you feel about that?
I don't feel no way. I think it's just not understanding business. When you get signed to a major, they are cultivating all of that. So even if I wanted to work with you 9 times out of 10, it's not coming out.
But like you said, it depends on leverage.
Exactly. Right? Exactly, of course. But that's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my situation was my situation. And everything that I was doing was label stuff. So it's like, okay, cool, we're putting you here, we're putting you there. Even if I did work with you, 9 times out of 10 it probably would have never came out.
But why not?
Because they're in charge.
But if you see, let's have a real dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Nothing robotic right now. This is real energy. So if you were to say I get signed on a producer deal, right? And you're the artist that I work with all the time. Sony comes to me and says, "Yo, I want to sign you." Like MC Vert and a Lil Uzi, right? Like with the Jersey Club. MC Vert, shout out MC Vert. He got signed. He got signed by I think it's Columbia. Shout out to bro. He got signed off for a producer deal. So that means that, in a sense, what you're saying is that now the label dictates who he can work with?
It depends what you do. So you're a producer, right?
If we came up together.
It don't matter, bro.
Oh.
I'm telling you, this is how the
business. This is news to me. Yeah.
This is how the business goes.
Yeah.
So you're a producer. You producing for X, Y, Z, all that stuff is cool because at the end of the day, you could do what you want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're releasing the records. You're not releasing the records. When it comes to an artist, and there's a thing called creative control. When you sign, 9 times out of 10, if you ain't got super leverage, and I'm talking about crazy leverage, when you sign, they are in control creatively. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to me and my situation, everything that I was doing was, okay, cool, we want to put you here, we want to put you there, we want to put you with these people. It's not that I wasn't rocking with nobody. I just knew even if I work with you, it's not gonna come out. I can't put it out. That's how it works.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that.
Because they had the final say at the end of the day.
Exactly. That's how it works.
Okay.
So people can have all these misconceptions and that's just not understanding business.
Yeah.
Like, people can talk. Me humbly speaking, you talking from down here.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the building. I know how it works.
Yeah.
So you my homie, but we just can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But is it a situation where you tried to push for it though?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't
say that you low key like just was trying to push what you got going and then thinking in your heart that eventually you'll come back.
I would say I was just a kid that was happy to be signed. I didn't think nothing of that. To me, I was being signed and okay, cool, I could still go rock over here.
Right.
But once I finally was going through the process and everything, I was like, okay, cool. Even if I do work with you, it's not gonna come out.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily like that. It's just even me, I didn't understand business when I was 18. I got signed at 18.
Yeah.
So like I didn't understand how none of that type of stuff worked. So
who was in your corner to help you realize that what it wasn't what it was?
The woman that was managing me at the time, shout out to her. She kind of like approached me and was like, yo, like what's going, like, do you understand this and that and that and that? And that's kind of when I started to click into like, okay, cool, I need to start understanding this, understanding that. But like you can tell, especially when like you in the building, like you can tell when energy changes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't heard top execs, like super execs telling me like, oh, I want nothing but to see you win. Like, you know, I look like, you know, you're an amazing person. Like, I just want to see you win.
Right.
All right, cool. Now you're not answering phone calls. Like, I've been through all of that type of stuff. So I think once I was starting to see what it was and me just growing and finally getting to a place where I'm like, yo, I really want to do what I want to do. That's when I started to kind of like just click into it, but just growing and learning the business and all that type of stuff.
Did it make you bitter?
I think it made me depressed. You know, I went through a lot of tough times. You know, I think one of the toughest years of my life was dealing with that whole situation where it just felt like I wasn't in control of my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody's asking me like, yo, what are you doing?
Right.
What's going on? Like, do you even make music? Like, that was one of the worst things that I think I ever had to hear. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's not my fault. Right. I just can't do nothing about it.
At the moment, you had your life in other people's hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. My career, everything. Like, it's in other people's hands. So that's why even when, like, you say a lot of the things of, like, oh, like, people feel like you did this. Like, people don't understand none of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't understand what really goes on in that world. I had to go through it. So, you know, it is what it is. But I've grown. Did it make me bitter? I think it made me start to hate people, but I eventually got over that hate.
On which side? On the exec side or on the?
I think from an all around side.
Okay.
All around. I think I was getting to the point where I was just frustrated, and I was just like, yo, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I think it gave me a lot of emotions, but I definitely went through one of the toughest years of my life having to deal with that.
So how did you snap out of it? How long did it take you to get out of your situation?
I want to say, I knew in my heart I didn't want to be in the situation. Maybe like 2 years ago, where I had a lot of mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Where I would wake up one day like, yo, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm fed up. And then another day I'll be like, all right, let's see what happens. You know? But it took maybe a year, not too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you feel?
I feel good. I feel free. I get to be creative, release when I want, do what I want, however I want. So I think that's a great feeling. I know that the road ahead is a lot more work, but I'm genuinely in a better place because I feel like I'm in control again.
Fire. So, speaking of releasing, what's next?
So I'm about to drop Fall again. I've been teasing that song a lot.
That record's hard.
Yeah, doing a lot of little.
We was at Aux release party.
Yeah, release party, and we played that. Yeah.
Played that. And I had to play it like a couple more times. I'm just like, nah. This record ain't what this record is. You know what I mean? I'm like, this really you? You looking like? I'm like, all right, you got my stamp. This one of them ones. This one of them ones.
So I've been getting a lot of good feedback with that one. I've been doing cool little funny toxic videos to it. People been engaging, so I'm finally dropping that one this month on the 20th. So that's next, and then just trying to release every month, be consistent.
Right. So speaking of which, like, what is a way that people, are you into doing like features? What's your climate right now? Or are you just sticking on you?
I think it depends. I've never been big on doing features. I kind of always just been to myself.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people would take that personally, but it wasn't personal. Like, I was just always in my own space and doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like now I'm open to it if it makes sense. Like, if it makes sense, if I like what you got going on, because that's the thing about me. Like, if I'm not really into it, like, I'm not really gonna show no love. You know? I show love to the people that I really like what they got going on. So I think I'm open to it if it makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fire. What's next though?
Next, I think
the release.
Yeah, releasing.
When you dropping?
The 20th.
20th.
Yeah. So releasing, getting back to being consistent, building myself back up again, and just getting to it. You know, there's a lot of things that I want to do, but I think musically I want to be releasing every month.
Yeah.
Get my merch, do a lot of things, but continue to just grow, you know. I feel like I built a good little stable, solid foundation with what I got going on. I had a few speed bumps, you know, along the road, but
you still here, man.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be
thank
able
God
to
for it.
Yeah,
you know?
to just keep going, you know.
Yeah, 100%. So where can they find you at on the socials?
Y'all can find me on Instagram at official dmunoz. Twitter, same thing. TikTok is official.
This nigga mad toxic on Twitter. Mad toxic. You saying some crazy shit, man.
TikTok is official Daniel Munozz. I'm trying to get my Instagram back to that. I'm just waiting on them to let me do it.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it, but they said I got to talk to people at Instagram to change it, which is crazy to me, but whatever.
Yeah. But music on the way.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you for, you know, giving me the time and the pleasure. This is the first interview in the year, so you gotta start it off right.
Yeah.
Home team, you know what I'm saying? From the area. So thank you all for watching. Once again, this 2023, we're going to start it off big. We got more content on the way. You can follow us at OTCU Pod. Follow me at DJ Ace201. Follow the director, Masaili, at Masaili, Naram, God. You know, we got a co-director today. Insert aux visuals. You know, we got Naira bands in the back. We got bugs in the back. You know, appreciate everybody that's supporting, tapping in, logging in, subscribing, commenting, everything. So we're just going to do it big and better. And thanks again for watching On The Come Up Podcast.